What if the scariest thing in a horror movie wasn't a monster in the shadows, but the collapse of love, trust, and sanity itself? Possession, 1981, is not just a horror film. It's a raw, unflinching descent into madness, betrayal, and obsession wrapped in some of the most disturbing imagery ever put on screen. When it premiered, many audiences didn't know how to react. Was it a domestic drama, a political allegory, a supernatural horror film, or all of them at once? The answer didn't matter because the movie's mix of grotesque body horror, emotional breakdowns, and shocking violence pushed it onto the censorship lists of multiple countries. Even today, over 40 years later, Possession remains a haunting cinematic riddle, a film banned, censored, and whispered about, yet revered by those who dare to watch. At the heart of this chaos is Isabelle Adjani, delivering one of the most legendary performances in horror history. Her portrayal of Anna, a woman spiraling into madness and something far darker, won her the Best Actress award at Cannes. Her infamous subway scene, half emotional breakdown, half possession, still shocks audiences to this day. Opposite her is Sam Neill, years before Jurassic Park, playing Mark, a husband unraveling as his wife slips away from him. His descent mirrors Anna's, turning the film into a brutal war of emotions. Directed by Andrzej Żuławski, a Polish filmmaker working in West Berlin, Possession was partly inspired by his own painful divorce, making the story feel brutally personal. Żuławski wasn't making just a horror film. He was tearing open his own wounds and showing them to the world. Mark is a spy who returns home to West Berlin from an espionage mission to find that his wife, Anna, wants a divorce. She will not say why, but insists it is not because she found someone else. Mark reluctantly turns the apartment and custody of their young son, Bob, over to her. After recovering from a destructive drinking spree, he visits the apartment to find Bob alone, unkempt, and neglected. When Anna returns, he stays with Bob, refusing to leave her alone with the child, but attempts to make amends. Anna leaves in the middle of the night. Mark receives a phone call from Anna's lover, Heinrich, telling him that Anna is with him. The next day, Mark meets Bob's teacher, Helen. She inexplicably looks identical to Anna, but with green eyes. Mark visits and fights Heinrich, who beats him. Mark then beats Anna at home, after which she flees. The following day, they have another hysterical argument during which they both cut themselves with an electric knife, Anna on the throat and Mark on the arm. Mark hires a private investigator to follow Anna and discovers she has been keeping a second flat in a derelict apartment building. When the investigator finds a bizarre, tentacled creature in the bathroom, Anna kills him with a broken bottle. The lover of the now-dead detective Zimmerman goes to the flat himself, where he finds the creature and his lover's dead body. Anna beats Zimmerman in a rage before stealing his gun and shooting him to death. Anna continues her erratic behavior and recounts to Mark a violent miscarriage she suffered in the subway while he was gone. She claims it resulted in a nervous breakdown. During the miscarriage, she oozed blood and white fluids from her orifices. Heinrich visits Anna at the second apartment and is shocked to discover the creature in the bedroom, as well as a collection of dismembered body parts in her refrigerator. She stabs him, and Heinrich flees, bleeding. Heinrich calls Mark and begs him to pick him up. Mark stops by Anna's apartment first and discovers the body parts. The creature, however, is gone. Mark meets Heinrich at the bar, where he murders him but stages it as an accidental death in the bathroom stall. He then sets Anna's apartment on fire before fleeing on Heinrich's motorcycle. At home, he finds Anna's friend Margie on the brink of death as she emerges from the lift, bleeding from knife wounds. She dies. He drags the body inside, where Anna greets him, and the two have sex in the kitchen. Afterward, he makes plans to cover up Margie's death. He then discovers Anna having sex with the creature. Heinrich's mother phones Mark, asking about her son. When he goes to meet with her, she commits suicide by taking several pills. As Mark wanders the street the next day, his former business associates pressure him to rejoin them. He is evasive and returns to Margie's apartment to find it surrounded by police and his former employers. He stages a distraction, allowing someone to sneak away in his car, but he is wounded in the ensuing shootout. Fleeing on the motorbike, he has a horrific accident and races into a building, where he is pursued by Anna, the police, and his business associates. Anna reveals the creature, now fully formed as Mark's doppelganger. Mark raises his gun to shoot it, but a hail of bullets from the police below guns him and Anna down. Bloodied and dying, Anna lies atop Mark and uses his gun to shoot herself. She dies in his arms and he jumps to his death through the stairwell. The doppelganger heads up the stairs, encountering a young woman. He gives her Mark's gun and instructs her to fire on his pursuers so he can get away. As if in a trance, she agrees. The doppelganger then leaves her and flees through the roof. Later, Helen is at the flat babysitting Bob when the doorbell rings. Bob implores her not to open the door, but Helen ignores him. Bob races through the flat into the bathroom, where he submerges into the bathtub face down, drowning himself. From outside, sirens, planes, and explosions fill the air. The silhouette of Mark's doppelganger is seen from the frosted glass door. Helen stares, her eyes shining. When Possession was released in 1981, censorship boards didn't know what to do with it. The movie combined raw, emotional intensity with disturbing body horror, sexual imagery, and shocking violence. It was too strange to be a typical horror film, yet too explicit and unsettling to be treated as art house drama. In the United Kingdom, it became one of the infamous video nasties, a list of films targeted for their extreme content. For years, it was banned outright, available only through underground copies. Other countries also censored or restricted it, fearing its combination of grotesque imagery and psychological collapse. Critics at the time either despised it or couldn't comprehend it. Some called it disgusting and incoherent. Others said it was dangerous. What they couldn't deny was that it left audiences shaken in ways few films ever had. But time has been kind to Possession. What was once banned and misunderstood is now hailed as a masterpiece. Modern critics and filmmakers praise it as one of the boldest explorations of love, madness, and identity ever captured on film. Isabelle Adjani's performance has become legendary, often listed as one of the greatest in horror cinema. The subway scene alone has been studied, imitated, and dissected for decades, and Żuławski's bold direction, swinging wildly between intimate realism and surreal nightmare, has influenced directors from Lars von Trier to Ari Aster. It's also been reinterpreted as a political allegory. Set in divided Berlin, with the looming presence of the wall, many see it as a metaphor for separation, paranoia, and the collapse of human connection in a fractured world. Today, Possession is no longer just a banned video nasty, it's a cult classic, restored, re-released, and finally given the recognition it deserves. It stands as a reminder that the scariest monsters aren't always supernatural. Sometimes they're the people we love, or even ourselves. It's still not an easy film to watch. It's grotesque, emotionally exhausting, and deliberately unsettling. But that's exactly why it remains so powerful. Possession is cinema that claws at the viewer, leaving scars long after the credits roll. So, was Possession, 1981, banned because it was obscene, or because it held up a mirror too raw and too honest for audiences at the time? Maybe both. But one thing is certain. It's not just another horror movie. It's one of the most haunting, divisive, and unforgettable films ever made a descent into love, madness, and monstrosity that cinema has never dared to repeat.